Alright guys, welcome to the channel. So we are slowly working our way through these Zaccaria packs. We're on to pack 5 now. So again, just a quick rundown. The rules are we're going to do a rating from 0 to 10 for each game. And they're rated against their peers. So solid states and EMs versus themselves. Remakes and the numbered years titles are the remakes. So they are rated against themselves. And retros against other retros. So let's get started with Clown. So a solid state game from 1985. I feel like we've gone through so many of these and there's so many more to go. It's pretty wild. So there's a lot of clown and circus type games in the Zaccaria series. So here we are. First off, a lot of people, not a lot of people, but there's definitely a group of people that don't like clowns and they won't even consider these games. So, and that should be acknowledged. First off, you notice with this table, this really ugly purple bar directly across the middle here. Really strange. Apparently that's like a, I don't know, looks like a stabilizer bar of some sorts, but pretty wild music. Let's see how it plays, though. Gotta love that spinner. I'm always a sucker for a nice spinner. Oof. And I always like to say a good gameplay will always trump a bad theme. So if the gameplay is good, it won't matter what the theme is. So love the sound effects. Bumpers are pretty cool. Drop targets. Whoa. That was not good. The clowns themselves are pretty freaky on here, I will say that. The sound effects are quite good, I will say that. I'm not doing very well at all, but... Nope, and that was a game time bonus, so that was the end of the game already. We'll jump into just another ball here. That sound effect in 82 would have been pretty darn cool for a pinball table, I will say that. Spinner again sounds amazing. Plays really quick, I will say that. I like that there's a pretty small gap. There's a kind of a cool gap here that actually can be jumped. So anyway, yeah. Boy, if I had to rate this one, I think I've only played this game a few times. I'm not a big fan of these clown games, but this one I could give a 7 to. I like there's nothing particularly wrong about it, and it plays incredibly well. It does have has a very unique theme and some really cool digitized music, and so I can't fault it for that. So I think I would give this one a 7. Okay. Next up, Clown 2019. So again, these all have the same same playfield artwork. Unless you look at the newer Steam releases, which they've actually updated all the retro and remake playfields. They have yet to announce if they're going to do that for Atgames ecosystem or not, but we will see. I'm hoping that they do, because it's going to become a big factor later on with some of the games, especially the deluxe tables.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome your friend.
Jeez. Nice little mini orbit there. This looks very similar to the game we just played, Stars Phoenix. Has that same kind of outline. In this case, it's just you get 250,000 points and it kicks it back out. Strange sound effects. You hear kind of the honking nose, clown nose, and stuff like that. but it's theme specific and theme accurate. This one does have a nice way of you can kind of throw the ball up through this center spinner, and it kind of creates this nice orbit up here where you can actually do some really fun stuff. You get kind of some good orbits going. I wish it wouldn't have a magnet stop, but as I do like games that have flow, and magnet stops I generally don't like, but as it is. You'd probably get some serious points with that, but okay. So that's Clown. If I had to rate this one, it does some cool things. Despite the bad theme, I think I would give this an 8. The modes are actually pretty cool. You have to knock down at least 4 drop targets, and then you start the modes. It's got a pretty decent theme to it. It's not the greatest, but I would still give this an 8. I can't fault it. The gameplay is really good, so. As much as I'd like to be less forgiving on it, I just can't do it. Clown Retro.
Wow. Retro.
Okay, so here we got a very wild-looking retro title. Gone are things like music, and in the rings and dings that we've talked about before, much more prominent in these titles. These ones have very, very strange flipper placement. You can see about a third of the way up the playfield, and everything else is bumpers. Very, very strange. A lot of people that I've talked to about this one actually kind of like it. It's a very different feel and look to a game than what we're typically used to. You can get to nudging and get that ball actually comes out of this bumper pit, if you will. So it's a little strange, but it kind of works. For that, I would probably give this one an 8, just because it is a little quirky, a little different, but it actually plays a lot better than it looks. And so for that, I will give them some style points. I think this one's actually pretty playable. I mean, you're waiting on the ball a lot, which is much more common in the retro titles in general. But I will say that this one actually plays pretty well. And you're not draining the ball every 5 seconds. So there's actually some gameplay here. You can nudge the heck out of this thing and get that ball to pop back up. And you can really do a lot with the ball. So, yeah, I would give that one 8. There's not a lot of the retro titles have a lot of really cool stuff going on, but that one's pretty different and plays pretty well. Next up, Future World. Future World is a 1978 solid state.
Future World.
And I'll start by saying I really love this table. I play this table a lot. I really enjoy this one. We played this on Flipper Friends maybe a month or so ago. This is right up there with Nautilus and Battle, which is another really good solid state game we have not covered yet. This one's a lot of fun. It plays incredibly well. There's a very, very small gap between the flippers, so it's very playable. You have good... the drop targets in the orbit are really, really well placed. Sadly, this one does not have a spinner. I love me some spinners on these older tables, but this one does not have it. Although this is what's really cool about this one is you can actually, when you do these drop targets, there's actually a red flashing table behind there, or target behind there. And what I just did with that orbit is really, really fun as well. So you're going to hit this orbit all the time to try to rack up points. Let's see if I'd love to be able to capture this ball, but I haven't been able to. See if I can dead flip this thing over here. Nope. Anyway, shooting it up around this orbit collects all these dots, and it has such a satisfying feel to it. I really love that aspect of the game. And then you have this multiple tiered drop target bank, which so you knock it down once, you knock it down twice, knock it down a third time, and every time you're going to get additional bonuses, and you have that red special popping up. And then you actually get some good bonus ball opportunities with this capture hole when it turns red, so you got some opportunities there. This game is really, really fun. I would give this one a 10. This is one that I even though it's quite old, I play it a lot. I really enjoy this one. It's on the micro and the HD, I play it far more than I do in the 4K because of limited options, quite frankly. But this is one of the better titles on the system if you look at those ones. And here I'm getting a bonus ball. So how cool is that? So, at any rate, that's a 10. I love this game. So I hope that you guys can accept that. I know if you have any opinions on it, I'd love to hear what you guys think of this one. I don't know. It tickles my fancy in some way. I just really like that table. Future World 2018. So this is a remake of that same game. And we also have a deluxe version of this coming out this year as well, which is already out on Steam, and it plays incredible. Really looking forward to that title. This one I watched some reviews on back in the day, and I just laughed and laughed and laughed because they called these Slurpee lids, and that's exactly what they look like for these futuristic kind of spaces that you would have on other planets and stuff. And it really has that. They really do look like Slurpee lids, and they probably would really look like that in real life tables. So really, really cool. Obviously, this one is not a real life table, but
it's cool.
This one's almost this. If you like spinners, and I do, this one has all kinds of spinners. So, and a lot of the scoring is based on spinners, which is pretty funny. So, you have a spinner here, you have a spinner here, which you can go 1, 2, or 3 million. You'll see that quite a bit in themes. There is modes on this one, so it's a little more in depth once you get into it a little bit, but there's always combos and skill shots going on. Really fun title. Really love this game. This one I would give, I'd love to give it a 10, but I just can't. It is a pretty simplistic game. There's not a ton of, the modes are pretty basic. Super easy to play though. I would give this one a 9 for sure. It gets some honorable mention for even higher, but I love the sound effects, but I just have to give it a 9. The Slurpee cups maybe ruined it for me, but anyway, I love this title. I definitely play this one a lot. There's some good score chasing opportunities here. I have seen a couple of glitches on this one though. I've had a ball get stuck in this ramp a couple of times. So I don't know if you do have a reset ball option, so make sure to utilize that if you see it. So just be on the note for that. But yeah, definitely a 9 on that one. I really enjoy the Future World games. So Future World Deluxe is going to be super good to have on the system when it comes. Next up is Pinball Champ. So first of all, I want you to notice this too. You'll notice that you have a Pinball Champ 82 2018, a Pinball Champ 82, and a Pinball Champ 82 Retro. This title and this title are almost identical in every way, and you'll see that now. So even though you're getting 11 games in this pack, you're actually only getting 10.
Pinball Champ.
So it's a little strange, and we're actually getting a 5th Pinball Champ Deluxe is actually coming out later this year as well.
I am the champ.
And I'm not really sure why they changed the art style. The one thing they did do that was the major change is they went from a 6-digit scoring to an 8-digit scoring. So you'll notice on the back glass here, which is really good that I'm showing that, it's actually a digital scoring. Whereas the other one was an EM, so you had kind of like the scrolling score. So same game, different scoring ability. Pretty fun game though. I especially love when you can get up to the upper playfield on this one. It can be really, really fun. A lot of people like this title. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I enjoy it quite a bit.
Well done.
There we go. We're up to the upper playfield now. Trying to hit those champ targets. I'd give this one an 8 easily. I think it's a pretty good title. I'm a little surprised that there's 2 versions of the same game. I don't know why they would have done that, but I think just to have the nostalgia of the other one was important to them. So anyway, I think that would be an 8. And then instead of going to 2018, we're going to go back to the 82 version of the Pinball Champ of the same game. And then we'll go back to the 2018. I want you to be able to see the comparison here between the two
Pinball
directly, as opposed to, snapping a screenshot or whatever. So here we got the exact same game, but you'll notice on the back glass, it's still digital back glass on this one. Did they change that up? I thought they had it different on there. At any rate, we will start it. Obviously, it's the same game. Have the same digitized speech. Quite a bit different sound effects, and there's quite a bit of different. The graphics are quite a bit different across the board. They did change some scoring, from what I could understand. So I do say that this one's a little bit better than the other one. Just the updates are quite nice, and I think it plays a little bit better. The sound effects are better. Let's see if I can make this shot. It's a really tough shot to get around there, but we will give it a go. Can't seem to get up there, but
Well done.
there we go. Now we're up to the top. Again, really small gap, so it's super playable. These flippers don't actuate very much. They're very shallow, but super playable, and they work really, really well. And then, of course, you got big point opportunities up there. 100,000 per point or per shot is pretty good on this table. So, anyway, yeah, I would give this one a 9. It's just a little bit better than its predecessor, and graphically pretty much the same, but you get the idea. And so here's Pinball Champ 82. We're gonna go to we'll go to this one first, and then we'll jump back to 2018. Let's see how this one compares. Now this is gonna be a demake, right? So we're gonna go back. It's gonna use the EM scoring, and obviously a very different game. So. Now it makes me want to go back and look at Pinball Champ's original games, because I believe when I looked at them before online, the older version of Pinball Champ that we first looked at actually had this type of back glass. So it had this type of stuff where you had only 6 digits. And it looks like that maybe they updated it on this just to have the updated scoring on both, even though it had the original 6 digits on there. So this one again, quite slow. Capture holes are never my friend on these tables. The retro tables are pretty slow in general to start with, but this one's not terrible. I wish this bumper was lower though, because you get into a situation where the ball kind of gets caught underneath and then it throws it down the middle. I would give this one maybe a 4. It's certainly more playable than a lot of the other ones. And in that case, it was able to get the ball out of there, which is actually pretty cool. And they were also smart to put bumpers in the middle so that if it did funnel down the center, you actually have an opportunity to kick it back out and to get it back into play. So it plays pretty well. So I'll give you a 4 on that one. All right, now let's jump over to Pinball Champ 2018. Totally different game.
Pinball Champ remake.
All right, here we go. So obviously, the champ. Huge upgrade in graphic ability and playfield. I love that they use different types of terminology for pinball as modes. Sadly, bangbacks are obviously illegal. Death saves are that. Loop passes, tap pass, flick pass, live catch, drop target, post pass, and dead bounce. You don't actually have to do these things to be able to. It's not part of the mode. There would be a really tough way to try to do that to be able to make it part of the game. But it would have been a really cool integration to see you have to do a post pass, for example, like that, and you get credit for it. I think that would be a really cool idea for a game. But how would you calculate that? Who knows? That would be tough to figure out for sure. The brand new deluxe version of this is I'm not particularly a fan of, and I never liked those magnetic stops, but in general I think this is a really good game. I would give this one an 8 pretty easily. It's definitely different than most of the titles out there as far as the remakes go. It's got some cool elements to it, like the little spiral thing, which you really only see on Space Shuttle Deluxe and something like that. The crazy tall ramp is something that's totally different. Love this like LED marquee kind of Pinball Champ in the corner here is really cool. And the modes are actually quite fun on this, despite being not being what they actually are, which would simply be impossible. So get up there. But yeah, I would give this one an 8. It's a lot of fun. Some people like this even more than that. Some people say this is one of their favorite remake titles. So if you have an opinion on that, please put it in the comments. I'd love to hear it, why you think you like it so much, and if I'm missing something on it, please let me know. But I haven't put a ton of time into this one, but I have enjoyed it. So, but yeah, I would give this one an 8. Sound effects are all really good. The callouts are good. They're nothing too crazy there. Okay, next up we have Pool Champion. 1985 solid state.
Pool Champion.
Okay, first off, the back glass is not particularly good. It's kind of like a weird watercolor. The 8-ball she's holding in her hand is far bigger than an actual 8-ball, which just drives me crazy. He's got an obscenely large bow tie, which is very puffy. I don't know, it's just, there's something about it that's very awkward to me. Whatever your take is on smoking, they left it in the game, which is totally fine. I think it was part of the original artwork, and so they left it. He has cufflinks that actually match his ring, which is a little strange. Graphically, these are pretty cruddy. They don't look very good. I'm not sure what was going on there with the conversion. It didn't look particularly well. Just the art package in general is not very good on this. I like a lot of these original solid state tables, but this is not one of them. The sound effects are cool, I will give it that. The actual sound effects, not the sound effects kit. The sound effects kit sounds pretty default for pretty much everything else. And you have a lot of these same elements that you've seen on a lot of these other tables. So, I don't know. This one's not particularly fun to me. It plays well enough, but it doesn't do anything surprisingly well. What's nice about it is you have all these. It is kind of a shooter's table because you do have these shots up the playfield as you go, which can be kind of fun. You could say, hey, I want to take a shot at 1, take a shot at 3, take a shot at 5. I'm going to take a shot at 11. You can go up here, try to take those shots. So you can really shoot on it. It's fun for that. So yeah, I'm here nor there on this one. I would give it a 6. I'm in game time bonus, so I got this 4th ball. So, and from what I understand, I heard somebody in my comments said that the game time bonus is directly connected to your performance on the 3rd ball. So I guess that's a good way of Yeah, so now my flippers are dead and the ball dies. So, but yeah, I would give this one a 6. Like, I don't know, it's okay. I don't hate it, but the art package is pretty awful. I will say that. Okay, next up, Pool Champion 2018.
Pool Champion remake.
Obviously, this is a remake, so 2018. This one's crazy, right? You got the same exact playfield, which is really weird because his face is like completely covered up with targets, and like I don't understand why you wouldn't shrink those down to make his face still visible. I wonder if they tried to cover up the fact that he was smoking there. I don't know what they kind of did here. It's a little weird. But they have some. This table has some really cool elements to it. It plays incredibly well. The sound effects are really, really good. You'll hear the clanking of the balls, the pool balls. You'll hear them putting the chalk. The spinners sound awesome in this one. Has a sickening thud to these spinners, which is super cool. I really like that. How's that sound? Doesn't that not sound cool? This is a combo type of table. There's combos all day long. You can rack up points on this thing really, really fast just by doing combos. You don't even have to do modes necessarily. It's a really user-friendly table. So if you're a beginner, this is a great table to pick up.
Don't move. Bonus times 2.
Kind of a really cool orbit spin spiral toy there is kind of cool. You hit these shoot targets and you get up and score points that way. But again, these spinners. Whew, gotta love those. Come on.
Shoot again. Is that don't move?
Callouts are good. They don't sound awkward in any way. I think they did a nice job with those.
Don't move. Combo.
So again, they had to overcome some of the art direction issues that they had from the first one, and I don't think that they did a good enough job on that. There is a deluxe version of this, which I think is really good, where they updated quite a bit of things. And we'll go over that eventually. It's pack 10, I believe it is.
Don't move.
Actually, no, it'd be pack 11 or 12 is the deluxe one. It just depends on what pack it's in. So, what would I rate this one? I would rate this one probably a 9. Actually, you wouldn't know it by hearing me, but I really like this table. This one's a lot of fun. Wonderful spinner sounds and things like that are great. The scoring is really great. Like, we've only played this just a few minutes, and I'm already up to 40 million. Very much a score chaser's table. You can combo all day long on this thing. It's a lot of fun. It's got a very good flow to it. Round and around we go. So, in general, I really like this table. It's a lot of fun, and love all the satisfying clicks and bangs on this of the drop target. So, that is a great table. Okay, so that is the last table of the pack. So if I had to rate this pack, this is a tough one because there's lots of tables in here that I only sort of like. The clown games are okay. I despite the theme, the gameplay is actually really good on all the clown tables. Even the retro table. If you like retro tables in particular, that's probably one of the best ones to get. You don't have a Pool Champion retro table. You don't have a Future World retro table. So if you like retro tables, you're not going to want this pack probably. However, I will say this, that the Future World tables, the clown tables are all quite good. That's a collection of about 5 games there, 6 here, and even if you like 1 or maybe 2 of the Pinball Champs, there's some good tables here. The problem is this, The only tables that are super memorable to me of this pack would be the Future Worlds. I really like the Future Worlds. Even though these clown games are good and the Pinball Champs are okay, they just don't scream come back and play me. So in general, I would give this pack a 7. For $25 on the HD, I think it's a pretty good value. But again, on the 4K, I'm like, okay, well, now I'm starting to lose interest. I know there's already been announced the Pinball Champ deluxe table that's coming out. There's already a Future World Deluxe, which is really, really good. I think there's a Clown Deluxe that's coming out as well, and there already is a Pool Champion Deluxe. So even if you completely skip this pack, you're still going to get these IPs in other ways, and in generally better ways as well. You would miss out on some really good solid states, but in general, I think this pack, for the most part, you could probably skip over. It's a 7 from me. Now, if you disagree with that, please let me know. I'd love to hear your opinions. I know there's people who really love the Pinball Champ games. I'd love to hear why they're so fantastic. I don't really see it. And go from there. Thanks so much, guys, and we will see you next time.
Retro Tech.